Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, created by Zack Snyder, is here. The newest sci-fi ready to join the worlds of Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Dune, and more. But did this movie live up to the hype? And is Rebel Moon the next Star Wars?
No, God!
No. Not by any means do I think this movie comes anywhere close to being the next anything. So what went wrong? Why does this movie not live up to the expectations of the fans? And is there any hope of Zack Snyder's latest attempt at this new IP to crack into the top spot with Star Wars? Well, stick around till the end of this video to see why Rebel Moon did not do its job in setting up this new universe, and to hear why I really actually enjoyed this movie quite a lot, contrary to everything I have said so far and contrary to the critics' reviews. Smash a like on this video and let's break this all down. Rebel Moon tells the story of a farming moon on the outskirts far away from its mother world. However, this peaceful world becomes a war zone as the Imperium finds them and tries to use them to stop an uprising of rebels. This leads to our main character, who was once a soldier for the Imperium, to leave this farming world to go find help to protect her newfound people. From great acting to great stories to great action, Rebel Moon falls short of the goal of competing with big established sci-fis like Star Wars. And you might be saying, Mike, didn't you just say that it was great action, great acting, and great story? What happened? Why is this movie not at the level of Star Wars and other sci-fi? Well, let me start with my rating for this movie. I gave this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Now, if you have seen this movie, give me your ranking in the comment section below. But 7.5 is a good score because this was a good movie. Keep that in mind as I on this movie for the remainder of the video. I did like this movie. It was enjoyable. It just does not live up to the expectations. And I have narrowed it down to 3 reasons as to why this movie was not it, and nowhere close to being the next Star Wars. Now, there probably is way more than 3 reasons, and if you have any, throw them in the comment section, but I think these 3 are extremely important, especially when it comes to Rebel Moon and trying to create a new galaxy. The first, and honestly probably the most important, is the soundtrack. Now, that might sound like a little thing, but the soundtrack to movies is everything! Think of Jurassic Park, or Indiana Jones, or The Avengers, or E.T., or Jaws, or Star Wars. When you hear the soundtrack to these movies, you immediately know what you're watching and you're excited. And let's be honest, you can probably sing along too. Rebel Moon had none of that, so much so that I don't even know if there was any soundtrack in that movie. It made it feel more like a fan fiction of Star Wars rather than a big budget Hollywood movie. The second thing was the slow motion. I know, this is Zack Snyder's thing. He's been doing it since the 300 and the Snyder Cut and everything he's worked on. There's been some slow motion scenes. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Zack Snyder is a great creator. However, when it comes to Rebel Moon, there isn't 5 minutes without a slow motion scene. It made this 2.5-hour movie feel like a lifetime. And as much as I love the Justice League Snyder Cut that's over 4 hours long, it wouldn't be over 4 hours long if they didn't have all those slow-mo scenes. But Rebel Moon specifically hurt really bad with all these slow-mo scenes that were completely unnecessary. Now, before I get to this third and last thing, I must remind you that I really did enjoy this movie. And I do look forward to part 2, and if you haven't seen this movie, I would recommend it. This was a fun, cool action adventure. But when you compare it to other major IPs like Star Wars, it comes nowhere close. And with that being said, my third and final reason as to why this will never be the next Star Wars is the fact that other than Korra, who is the main character of the movie, I couldn't tell you a single other character's name, and let's be honest, there was a lot of other characters in this movie. And even with Korra, the main character, that name is an alias, and I couldn't tell you her real name. So with this massive cast of brand new characters, the names are just not memorable, or at least they weren't delivered in a way throughout the movie that allows fans to remember them. Just look at Star Wars. There's nobody that came out of the theaters when they watched A New Hope that didn't know who Luke Skywalker was, or Princess Leia was, or Darth Vader was. Or even when it came to inanimate objects in Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star. For some reason, they were simple and easy and said many many times over again in the movie without sounding too repetitive that allowed fans to remember the names. I honestly couldn't tell you the name of a single character, ship, or planet in Rebel Moon, and I literally just finished watching the movie. Now again, I can't emphasize this enough, I really did enjoy this movie. It's just light years away from being anywhere close to the next Star Wars. And if Zack Snyder wants his new IP to be remembered and continued, there's gonna have to be some drastic changes when it comes to part 2. But tell me what you think in the comments section below. Did you watch Rebel Moon and did you enjoy Rebel Moon? Don't forget to rank it out of 10 in the comments section below. Smash a like on this video if you liked it. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. We go live on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so don't miss out on any of that by hitting that subscribe. And if you want more, go check out this video I just did all about the delay of Andor Season 2 into 2025.